The hardest decision I've made in the last few years, it wasn't ending a 25-year marriage. It wasn't losing 35 pounds or starting a business. I want to tell you about my hardest decision because I'm not the only one who struggled with this. I want to share what it cost me, what I've learned, and how I moved forward. If you're new here, I'm Natalynn, and my work is all about helping women disrupt patterns that hold us back, take action even without all the answers, and move forward differently in how we live, lead, or work. So, where do I start? I want to start with what I knew to be true and still was not choosing. I realized that no person or employer was going to step in and create the beautiful life I envisioned for my new season. I'd accepted that if I don't create the future I want, I will once again end up living into a future that other people create around me. And I've always known, always, that God has a calling on my life. I know the purpose and the plan He has for me. But despite knowing all of this, I was still waiting for validation. And even when I got it, I made excuses and justifications for needing more proof. I was basically in a self-imposed holding pattern, waiting for some undeniable sign of my worthiness. Why did I do that? Honestly, after investing so many years into work, jobs, people, I had lost my drive for me. It was like I kind of unconsciously decided that I didn't need or I hadn't earned the right to choose me first. And as unbelievable as it may sound to some, others of you will know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that. I would politely decline opportunities and things that were offered solely for my benefit. Doesn't even make sense. You know those phrases. Oh, that's okay. You don't have to do that for me. I'm good. I can wait. Yeah, I said that a lot. My reality was performing, achieving, looking polished and successful. People looked at my life and looked at me and saw a woman who was thriving. But when I looked into the mirror, I saw the truth. I saw a woman in survival mode, a woman who felt deeply unfulfilled and ill prepared for the life I wanted. I had spent years waiting. For what? Waiting for circumstances to change in my marriage, hoping things would change and become something they were never going to become. Then waiting for certainty, for some undeniable sign to finally decide to move forward. When I looked in the mirror, I saw emptiness. I was navigating divorce, anxious about my financial status and my financial future, constantly overthinking and second guessing myself. And in the process, probably self-sabotaging my own opportunities for a clear path forward, both personally and professionally. I was accepting less than I deserved. I was saying yes and fine when I should have been saying no or that doesn't work for me. I was absolutely carrying the weight of other people's expectations, and it all added up. It added up to excess pounds, stress, exhaustion. So, what changed? What made me change? You know, I remember it like it was yesterday. We were at a family celebration, and my oldest son said, "Mom, you look so sad. You look so sad, Mom." And it hurts. It hurts to think about it even now. And I said the words that are rarely true. "No, son, I'm good. I'm fine." But I have to tell you, that night, I found myself unable to continue ignoring a hard truth. The hard truth wasn't that other people weren't choosing me as a priority. The hard truth was that I wasn't choosing me either. Nope. I was choosing financial security. I was choosing familiarity. I was choosing possibility over reality. I was choosing less than I deserved. And even now, saying that is uncomfortable. No, mm-mm. It's more than that. If I'm being honest, it's painful. Anyway, that night, I asked myself, "Natalynn, if nothing changes, can you go on like this another year?" And the reality was absolutely not. I could not keep going like a well-oiled machine. That's what one of my childhood friends, that's how she described me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't even do it for another month. And so that night I decided I had to take accountability. Accountability for choosing to live into patterns that disconnected me from my peace, my purpose, my passion, that disconnected me from who and how I'm meant to be in this world. And even though I didn't know how things were going to turn out, because honestly, I was used to a certain lifestyle, a sense of financial security. And even though I didn't truly know what it was going to mean not to have those things, I had to make a choice. And it felt like the hardest decision to make, but I made it. I chose me. I chose me. And I didn't become self-centered or stop caring, but I did stop abandoning myself. I did stop waiting and I started taking action. I created my community of sisters. It's about 14, 15 women from across all seasons of my life. And they're called Team Nat. Team Nat. And Team Nat holds me down and holds me accountable. We've been texting regularly for a few years now, and many of us occasionally we come together in person. But through the support of this community of women, through intentional reflection, meditating, prayer, affirming myself in the mirror, girl, you look good. Girl, Go in that room and own it because you already do. You are wearing that lipstick. Yeah, yeah, I did all of that. But through that, and with a more disciplined lifestyle, eating healthy, exercising daily, through strategic decision making, choosing courage over fear, and even when I didn't feel like it, through just taking small, consistent actions daily, I was able to rebuild my life. I rebuilt my confidence. I started I started seeing possibilities and saying to myself, well, what if this works out? Try it. Stick with it. Give it a chance. And I've not just been pivoting from career paths that make sense to everyone else, but they no longer feel fully aligned with my vision for my life. Now, I'm building a community. I'm building a business. I'm building a brand with boldness and on my own terms. And out of everything, I'd say the most important thing I have rebuilt is my relationship with myself. Now that rebuilding, that requires some real decisions. Like being committed to letting go of emotional weight that had been holding me back and holding me down. I did the hard work. I became very disciplined and I lost 35 pounds in community and with the support of another group of 7 to 8 women who became my accountability partners back in November of 2022. Some of whom, by the way, I've yet to meet in person, even though we've had daily group text. Since November of 2022, we've been communicating daily, sometimes several times a day. I also learned some things. I learned how to move forward before having every answer. And how important that is to show yourself that you trust yourself. We don't need all the answers. We don't need confidence to take action. We need to practice courage and take action in the face of fear and uncertainty. And doing that repeatedly, that's what rebuilt my confidence. I learned the discipline of self leadership because you know what? If we don't lead ourselves, we go wherever someone else's behavior takes us. hmm Someone else is directing our attitude ship, and we'll sit waiting for them to direct the next move, even when we know what we want to do. Choosing me, choosing you, it's not a one time thing. I'm continuously experiencing that. I find myself starting to default to old patterns because guess what? I too am a work in progress, just like everyone else. A lot of times when I'm training at work, I'll raise my hand. I'll tell the women, this means I'm a work in progress, just like you, because life happens. Choosing me, you choosing yourselves, it's an ongoing journey. The key is to stay on the journey. I've recently gained some awareness of old patterns surfacing, and I had to take accountability. Yep, there's that word again. I had to choose me again. I made some real decisions that may not land well with others, may upset some folk. And you know what? I'm okay with that. So here are 4 things I stopped doing. And friends, I invite you reflect on whether you're doing these things and consider if you are, how are they working out for you? Number 1, I stopped reminding and repeating. I communicate once, done and done. And then I see if someone's listening or just hearing. Number 2, I stop justifying myself personally and professionally. Because you know what? I'm clear, I'm complete, I'm confident. I let my presence do the rest. Number 3, I stopped overcompensating and initiating in relationships at all levels. I am allowing myself to fully see what is and what is not being offered. And I'm taking that as data. And number 4, I said the last one was important, but this one's even more important. I stopped putting my life on hold. I stopped leaving my dreams on the shelf for someone else's readiness. I leaned into the fact that just because someone is not assertive and intentional about plans with me and for me doesn't mean I go without plans. You see, we have to exercise self leadership. Self leadership is a form of self preservation. Practice it daily. And so I'm back. I'm back to creating plans and meaningful experiences for myself. I'm moving forward with the future and the beautiful life I envisioned for this season of my life. And you know, that feels good. It feels so good. In all of these that we're talking about, there's been a common thread, a common key learning, if you will. I've talked about and I've shared that growth accelerates when women are surrounded by other women who see them clearly, challenge them honestly, support them deeply, and are doing the work, doing their own work right alongside them. And when I look at how being in community with women has impacted my life, I want that for you. That's what I want to build here. That's what I'm going to build here. Not perfection, but grounded community that can support you in how you choose to live, lead, or work differently. Being in community with me and with others, that's important because women, we do not thrive in isolation. We may survive in isolation, but we thrive in community. When you're in this community, am I going to challenge your thinking, even across these lines? Am I going to challenge the patterns you have? Yes, 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 I am. Absolutely. But I will always hold a safe space for you. Always. Now, will you have some aha moments and some ouch moments? Aha moments are when you say, that's good. I'm going to do that. I'm going to try that. Ouch moments are when you say, ouch, she's all in my head. She's talking about me. I need to do something. Both moments are good because both moments can help us to move forward differently. So, will you have some aha moments and some ouch moments? I certainly hope so. And for those, I'm also going to always hold safe space for you to have either. And if you accept the challenge to be in community with me and lean in, you'll be surprised by how much you learn about yourself in about 15 to 20 minutes a day, and you will move forward differently. So, if this message resonated with you, drop a comment and tell me what resonated. If you know someone that needed to hear this message today, please share the link. I would love for you to subscribe and become a part of this community. Honestly, I would. As time goes on, we're going to talk about leadership, talk about that a lot. Relationships, communication, confidence, presence, purpose, reinvention, the stories we tell ourselves, and the decisions that ultimately shape our lives. So, my friend, I want you to remember something. At some point, every woman faces this question about some aspect of her leadership, her life, or her work. She'll have to decide, do I keep waiting? Or do I move forward? And I've learned that how we move forward matters far more than how fast. So, I'll see you soon.